What's up, people? Welcome back. My name is Ed Harris. Yes, today we are doing sofrito. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, like I said, my name is Ed Harris. Welcome back to the Everything Vegan channel. Yes, I am your host. And what can I say? But I am happy to be here and I'm happy to share with you another super delicious recipe. All right. Shout out to all of my text community that have been joining and enjoying these recipes. I can't wait for you to get all of the recipes that we have in stored. I have some really cool stuff in the works. All right. My team and I, we're crunching it. And next month is going to be epic. All right. So stay tuned. This month has already been an amazing month. All right. We've done some really cool dishes. Later on, we're going to be doing pesto pasta, which is really easy, quick, and just super delicious. And I think that's one of the things I really like is the fact that I can bring you really tasty recipes that don't take too much time, and even the ones that do take time. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes there are recipes that needs longer, and that's okay. Those you plan out and you do them when you have the time, right? But in the meantime, no pun intended, we're about to do something real short and sweet. All right. So let's go over what we have going on here. Um, but before we do that, let's initiate the poblano. All right. So sofrito, right? What is a sofrito? Let's let's put this on the fire. Right now, you can do green bell peppers or you can do a poblano. Since we're doing a sofrito, I figure why not use a poblano. All right. So I just washed this, and you would do the same thing with your bell pepper. And literally, we're just gonna turn the flame on full blast, and we're gonna put this over the fire just like that, right? And the idea here is to make this. Can you see? Why is my screen black? Not sure if you can see. All right, let's try this one more time. There we go. Perfect. All right. So the idea here is to char our pepper, right? And what the reason we're doing this is one, we're developing flavor, right? And two, it's a great way to peel the skin off of your pepper and really, like I said, impart some serious flavor. All right. So we're going to char this, and pretty much we're just looking for blisters all over the pepper. We want to make sure that majority of the surface of the pepper is totally charred. All right. And the second important step with this is having either an airtight container that you can put this into, a Ziploc bag, or a plastic wrap. All right. Because the steam, the residual heat that is going to be within the pepper is going to allow you to steam it in a covered container. And with that, very easy for you to take off that blistered skin. All right. Yes. Looking good, looking good. So we want to just get this super charred as much as possible. So yeah, sofrito. What do you do with sofrito? Why do you even have it? Sofrito is one of those things, if you've ever been to Bar Taco or any really kind of cool Spanish restaurant and your black beans come out, there's like this little pepper onion situation on top. That's a sofrito, right? And that just allows you to mix in a little bit more concise, very impactful flavor into your beans or whatever it is that you're serving it with, right? And there are different types of sofrito depending on, where in the world you're from. All right. So my sofrito is just how I like to make my sofrito, honestly. And to tell you the honest truth, it changes quite often. So this is one recipe, one idea of many different sofritos that I've done. I've written a cookbook called Veganish, and there's actually an amazing recipe in there for sofrito, and it's very different to this, but still, like I said, super amazing and delicious. All right. So we are almost there. All right, be very careful when you're doing this, and you want to make sure you open up your door, your back door. Make sure your vent is on, depending on your kitchen situation. You want to have a lot of air. You want to have open space. All right, because we are charring, and if I was doing this in a different location, that we have access to the carbon monoxide smoke detector and all that stuff would be firing off. All right, so you don't want to do that. And if you do that, oh well, it's all good. After all, you're in the kitchen cooking. You know what I mean? So you see, nice and blistered looking. That's exactly what we want. All right, so we're almost there. Okay, we just need to get the end burnt, and then we're good to go. And like I said, you don't need to make sure that all of it is totally charred. As long as 90% of it is charred, 85% is charred, it'll be okay. All right. Yes. All right. This is the last side. And then I have my plastic wrap. All right. We're going to come back over here so we can go through everything else. Like I said, this is a super short recipe. And the cool thing about this recipe is that after you make it and you cook it, you can put it into your refrigerator and it'll be there for a couple weeks. Like, as long as you're using a clean utensil to take out what you need, and you can even freeze it. So portion it and freeze it is another great way to go. All right. So I'm gonna turn this off. Let me check this side. Yeah, we're good here. So I'm gonna turn this off and I'm gonna put it onto the plastic wrap. All right. Let me bring this over here so you can see what I'm talking about. See what I'm talking about? There we go. Yep, perfect. So a plastic wrap, simple. All right, you see all that steam that just happened immediately there, condensation. That's what we want. So we just wrap this up very simply, seal it up, and just put it to the side. All right, we're gonna give that about 10 minutes or so. And whoops. Hello. Cameraman, chef, all in one, baby. Let's do it. All right. So this is our setup for what we're about to do next. All right. We got our pan in the back. I'm going to take the lid off of this. Now, let's go over the ingredients. Let's switch this camera. All right. We're back, baby. Now, let's go over the ingredients for our sofrito. All right. I have freshly toasted cumin, all right, that have been grounded. Very different than if you were to take cumin that's already ground in a container that you got off the shelf in the supermarket. Very, very different. The aroma and flavor of this is way more intense when you do it that way. So buy whole seeds, toast it, ground it. You'll be so much happier that you did. All right. Next up, we have some Mexican oregano. All right. If you don't have Mexican oregano, can you still make this? Yes, you can. All right. You can. You can. You really can. Next up, we have smoked paprika, right? Super important for sofrito. This is going to add flavor and aroma and color. All right. We have bay leaves. Now, these bay leaves, I have how many? 4. I love cooking with bay leaves. All right. And I try to put it in as many things as I can because it just gives a really beautiful flavor to plant-based food or any food in that case. Good bit of garlic. I think my recipe calls for about 3 pieces of garlic. I love garlic, so I did a little extra. If you like garlic, then rock with me. I did like double the recipe for garlic just because, sofrito and garlic just goes really, really well together. All right. We have tomatoes. You can do cherry tomatoes. You can do plum tomatoes. You can do canned diced tomatoes. It's totally up to you. You know, One of the things that really makes sense, especially when you're cooking, is always try to use what you have on hand. So I was like, I can go to the store and get some tomatoes, or I can rock with what I have. So I decided to rock with what I have. All right, just to let you know that there are different ways you can, go about cooking a broccoli. All righty. Next up, onions. Last but not least, a chipotle. This chipotle right here is dried and is just soaking in some warm water so it becomes soft enough that we can blend it up right here, which is what we're about to do now. All right. So let's turn on Got a lot of plugs in here. All right, there we go. We'll turn that on. Extra virgin olive oil, ladies and gentlemen. All right, extra virgin olive oil. Whoa. Sorry about that, people. My laptop almost went flying. Oh my goodness, that was crazy. Okay, is that better? Almost. There we go. Okay, need to find a laptop stand. That's a good idea. All right, let's turn this on. We're gonna go medium flame, medium heat. All right, start. We're gonna add our oil. All right, we're gonna add our oil. Okay, so while this is getting hot, let's get everything into our blender so we can do that. All right, so washed cherry tomatoes in there, sir. All right, our garlic, our onions. Now, we can totally use a blender, but I didn't feel like it. All right. So you notice my dry stuff. I'm going to just hold off for it for a second because it doesn't necessarily have to go in here immediately anyway. All right. I'll wait till this kind of purees a little bit, then I can blend everything up. And of course, our chipotle pepper, I put that last, so it's right by the blade. You know what I mean? Our bay leaves, this I'm going to put right into the oil. Yes, right into the oil. Now, let's blend this. All right. You notice I didn't add any water. Depending on how you put your vegetables, you might need to add a little bit of water just to kind of get it moving. I'm going to see if we can do it without adding any water, right? Oh, almost didn't plug that one in, did I? Okay, cool. So let's turn this one off for a second. Okay, here we go. Let's blend this baby. That's it. We don't need to blend it too much. All right. So sofrito, some people will chop everything up by hand with a knife, and that's one way to do it. All right. You can totally do that if you want, or you can put everything into your blender or your food processor. It's totally up to you. All right. It really goes down to what kind of texture you like for your sofrito. All right. Some people like it chunky, some people like it smooth. All right. So it's totally up to you. Now, look. All right. See? Just like that. The skin comes off. All right. So I'm going to go over there and do this so I don't make a mess everywhere, and I'll be right back. All right. And you want to make sure when you're doing this to actually not wash the pepper. You can rinse your hands off so you can get everything off of your hands, but you don't wash the actual pepper. All right? Because if you wash the actual pepper, you are getting rid of a lot of the flavor that we just spent time putting. All right? So we get rid of the seeds, and this is nice and clean. All right? If you have a little bit of char left on it, that's totally fine. You don't have to worry about that. All right? As long as you get most of it off, that's the most important thing. All right? Then I just take my knife really quickly and just run my knife over this. All right, just so we can give it a hand with the blender. All right, so we open this up and we add our peppers. Next, we add our spices. Yum. See how easy this is? Now imagine cooking some rice with this, roasting some vegetables. All right, tossing it in there. That's a beautiful thing, right? That's a beautiful thing. All right, let's get this baby back on here. Give it a 1, 2. And it's done. All right, let's unplug this. Get our fire, our heat back on. Okay, let's move this out of the way so you can see what we're doing over here. There we go. Beautiful. All right. So, waiting for this to get a little hot. All right. Smells good. Smells good, right? And we don't have any heat to it yet. Okay, so this is hot. All right, now the idea with this is we're literally just cooking out. Turn this down so it's not too bubbly. All right. Oh my goodness, this smells so good. It smells so good. So I'll take just a little bit of water that we had our chipotle soaking in, right? Just so we can what? Rinse out this container. All right. Yes. You want to get everything out of there. All right. Not leaving anything behind. No man left behind. No food left behind. No ingredient. Nothing. Yeah, big A. All right. So the idea here is to just cook this down for about 10 minutes or so. All right. Depending on how much you're making, obviously you might have to cook it a little bit longer, right? But we put a lid on this because it does like to pop a little. All right. The idea is to just keep an eye on it. All right. You want to make sure that as you're doing it, you give it a stir every couple minutes. Right. That's the most important thing. As long as you're giving it a stir, it's okay. And when you open it, just turn it down. If you're using flame, turn your flame down. If you're using an induction burner like this, whatever it is that you're using, just make sure that you are safe while you're doing this so it doesn't pop and burn you. You know what I mean? So I'm going to turn it down because I can see it bubbling. All right. Gently open it up. Right. And then we give it a stir. See? Easy. And then when we cover it, we can crank it back up again. Right? Now, you can add salt and pepper to this if you wanted. I like to wait depending on what I'm going to do with this. So you can just add just a little bit just to brighten up everything if you want. Because remember, the idea here is to bring this to a point where when you add it to anything, you don't need to cook it. All right? Like it's completely done. Just think of it as like a sauce. Right? Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Remember, since you are here, I must let you know. All right? I must let you know. There are two things I would like you to do. First things first is click on my name or my picture so it brings you up to my channel. And then this way you can check out what I have scheduled for the remainder of the month and the week. And then you can click on save my spot. All right. This way, as soon as I go live, you get an alert. Before I go live, you get an email. So you can just click on that and join the link and it will bring you right to me direct. The second rule I have for you to enjoy this channel is to click on the follow button. All right. Smash that button. Click on it, drill down that button, do what you got to do, click on that button. This way, we are connected, all right? And you're never left out and left in the dark of all the amazing things we have lined up for you on the Everything Vegan channel, all right? With your host. Okay, I'm going to turn it back down again so I can give it a nice little stir, okay? But those are the two rules, so make sure you follow them. Otherwise, Kitsch police will get you. And I'm really, really, really enjoying that you are here. So stay tuned. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Okay, now we can give it with a pinch of salt, right? Okay. And then a few. Okay. Then we give it one more stir and we taste it. All right. As you can see, the oil is not separated anymore, which is great. All right. That lets us know that it has combined and really started to do what it's supposed to do, which is cook down really nicely. All right. Now, remember, we're not trying to reduce this. We're just kind of cooking everything and bringing it together. All right. So the flavor is more cohesive. All right. So clean hands. Let's try. Who's hot? Mm. Nice little kick from the chipotle. So we're gonna go with one more pinch of salt. It has a nice sweetness to it from the onions, from the garlic, from the pepper. You get a really nice flavor. This is beautiful. So I'm gonna let this go for one more minute on high, and it's done. Just like that, it's done. You know what I mean? Short and sweet, to the point, delicious. Now think of roasted potatoes. Think of a roasted cauliflower or sauteed cauliflower. I mean, a spoon of this on top of your baked beans or your black beans. I mean, there's so many ways you can go with this. Over rice, white rice, right? Use this to make Spanish style rice, like a Mexican street rice, anything like that, real easy. So I'm going to turn this off because it's done. And I want to say thank you so much for joining me today. I can't wait to show you what we have in store. So, like I said, click on the follow button, click on save my spot so you get the alerts, and stay tuned for what's to come. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I want to wish you an amazing day. And now remember, at the end of the month, all right, I'm doing a super cool promotion. All right. I was in St. Lucia for a whole month. And while I was there, I secured some amazing vendors, one of them being my CMOS vendor, right? So we're going to talk more about that at the end of the month. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Also, at the end of the month, I'll be doing another tag team action with two other amazing chefs from Kitsch. All right, Chef Nina and Chef Sesibek. We're going to be doing Thai desserts. So make sure you stay tuned for that. All right. I will let you know. It's going to be, um, I believe, Thursday, I think, the 31st of the month. You'll be alerted. All right. But for you to be alerted, you have to follow. All right. So make sure you stay tuned for that. It's going to be amazing. And always 100% vegan and plant-based. All right. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to wish you an amazing week. I will see you tomorrow for another delicious demo. All right. Tomorrow is going to be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you turn on your notifications. Make sure you save your spot so you get alerted. All right. Be great, eat great, cook great, and be well. All right. I'll see you later on. All right. Today's a great day. So be great. Go out there and be great. Do something great. All right. For somebody, preferably for somebody. All right. So that way the universe pays you back even more. Later.